It's the Restaurant Finance Podcast. I'm interviewing Jason Ganahl.
Awesome. Can I take your bag?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put it right here.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Jason, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Ty, great to see you.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Of course. How's your weekend going so far?
Fantastic.
Good. Would love to just start with an introduction on yourself and what you're working on here, and we'll just go right into it.
Cool. Awesome. Jason Ganahl, GQue BBQ. I live in Denver, Colorado. Founder of Colorado's only championship barbecue brand. We have 9 locations. 3 of them are stadium. 6 of them are standalones, and hope to have another 1 or 2 here by the end of the year.
Awesome. When did you start this business, and I guess what's the path been to get here?
The path to get here, I've got a 2-minute, I've got a 10-minute, and I got a 20-minute version. I'll give you the 2-minute.
2-minute one. Yeah.
2-minute version of that. I grew up in Missouri. I love eating barbecue. Barbecue meat to me just tastes better than any other meat you can get.
Yep.
You get that smoke flavor that you can't get cooking in an oven or cooking it on a skillet, which I really enjoy. I eat barbecue everywhere I go. I grew up in Missouri, moved to California, moved to Colorado in my quest to find really good places. Out in Colorado, I stumbled across this group called KCBS. Have you ever heard of them
No, I
before?
haven't.
Kansas City Barbecue Society. They sanction professional barbecue contests all over the country.
Yeah.
I went to one of their events in Dillon, Colorado, and I was instantly hooked. I got involved. I was a judge. I became a competition cook. And then that eventually led me to opening up my first restaurant. It'll be 11 years in November.
Wow. What drove you to that competition aspect of it? What was the kind of the thing that got you in?
Competing?
What excited you about that?
Yeah, I think we're all called to do something
Yeah.
great. So for me, no matter what I'm doing, I always want to challenge myself to just be better at it. So just getting involved in that group, that KCBS, judging, I wanted to be the best judge I possibly could be. I wanted to be the most fairest. I wanted to be able to have the most awareness of everything I judged. When I got into competing, I wanted to eventually win.
Yeah.
And then I met a lot of people. They opened up restaurants, and I had always heard restaurants were super hard. It's impossible to make money at them. Don't do it. And I met a lot of really great people that were doing great in it, and that gave me the inspiration to give it a shot.
I love it. How have you thought about expanding this brand? Obviously, you can start with one spot and nail down the quality and just really have good oversight of that. You go to 2, go to 3, it gets harder. How have you thought about that expansion going to the amount of stores you have today?
Definitely gets harder. I don't think of it as we have a unit goal or anything like that.
Yep.
I want to create the demand through the guest experience.
Yep.
So if you talked about competition earlier, I want to be number 1 with every guest that walks in that door.
Yep.
So if we can achieve that, just the demand that our guests will have, the new municipalities have for us, that will lead us to growth.
Yeah.
More so than we're setting out to do 2 new units this year. If we do a really good job, the people on the fringe will want us to open up new restaurants to come into their community.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Just go heads down on the guest, treat the guest like a competition right there,
Yes.
nail that experience, and you'll just get pulled. You look up and 10, 15 years later, you're large. You're just going off the demand.
Correct. And I don't know how, it's barbecue. Barbecue's really hard to scale.
Yeah.
So I don't know how large is, but yes, 100%. Let's create the demand by giving the guests a great experience.
I love that. So the Restaurant Finance Podcast, we typically talk about stuff that underlies the reality, less about the actual money and accounting side of it. But when you think about restaurant finance and your goals and all these things, what sort of is the driver there? What comes to mind, investment wise, all these things?
Well, that's another limiting factor to growth too. So
Yeah.
you have to have the demand from the guest, the brand awareness, but you also have to have the resources to do that. So I'm self-financed. I don't have any investors. What's great now is in the beginning, I couldn't get any bank financing.
Yeah.
So I had to, I told you earlier I moved from Missouri to California to Colorado. When I moved to every single one of those places, I maintained the real estate that I lived in.
Yeah.
So I sold all of those to start my very first GQue because I couldn't get any bank financing at all. Now that we're established, we've been around for 10 plus years and doing well, we can get some bank financing. So we're using that to fuel the growth in addition to the profits from the store that we reinvest back into the growth.
Got it. Makes sense. And when you think about investing, so you open a store, I guess maybe just talk about the opening of the new one. You mentioned guests are going to be driving that. Mm-hmm. They're probably saying, hey, I want this over here. I have to drive an hour to come to your place.
Yes.
What's that process like? Demand driven, but I guess what else do you think about when you open a new location?
Well, for me personally, everybody's a little bit different, but I struggle with self-doubt.
Yeah.
It happens every single time. It happened with the first location, and I just opened up a new unit about 4 weeks ago.
Congrats.
And it happened with that too, where there's an inevitable night or day or week leading up to the opening where I think this is the worst decision I've ever made, and this is not going to work out. And that's just the inner demon, slaying those dragons and fighting those and overcoming that.
Yeah.
But I think we do a really good job. What's really nice about having been in business for 10 years is that we've got 70,000 people on our email address. We have a good social media following. And we've got a lot of people that have had good experiences at our restaurants that are out there creating the awareness.
I love that. So I guess you say, okay, we need a new location here. Like the process, bank loan, going out there, finding a piece of real estate. Like what's the tactical steps you're using to go and get there?
Well, you got to find a site first. Without a vision, you perish. So we find a site first, and then we got to make sure we have the financing for it. So I recently put together a 5-year financing plan that's going to help get us where we need to go. And that's a combination of our own profits as well as bank lending.
Yep.
But there's that along with our forecast is what we look at to determine where we're going to go.
Nice. And how much time do you spend, what's the breakdown of your day? What do you normally do in a given day that's not a conference? Like, what does that look like?
I do podcasts with cool people like you.
Perfect.
No, I think of myself as just a people builder. So I just walk around and I think where the biggest need is in the business, and I try to just pump up the people that are involved in wherever that need is.
Yeah.
I try to be everyone's biggest cheerleader and whatever I can do to help them just be better. I think most of our problems are people problems. They're not tactical problems.
Yep.
So if we can help the people, I talked earlier about the self-doubt I have.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out where that break point is in the person and help them overcome what that is so they can get where they need to go. I think most people that work in our business have all the capabilities to do what they need to do to be successful in the job. Yep. It's the between the ears stuff that hold them up. So totally. I spend most of my time trying to just figure out what that is. And I just inherently like helping other people too. So I have the best job in the world. I get to walk around all day long and help people. And that's just on my team, let alone the guests that are coming in, where we like to give people the best 20 minutes of their day. Yeah. So a guest comes into the restaurant, I get to make them happy. They're having a great day, I get to make it even better. They're having a bad day, I get to make it better for them too. Yeah. So I win either way, whether I'm working with the team or working with the guests that come in the restaurant.
Yeah. So I love that. Like just really focusing on the people, putting the right people in the right places, giving them the resources to go and do their thing. I guess what's the biggest challenge? Obviously, people in general is tough to deal with, but when it works, it just works so well. The right person, the right time, all these things. What do you think about from a construct of like, what's the challenge you're facing this week, next week? Like, how do you kind of think about working through those challenges?
Well, broad-based question. Sure. For me, challenges are opportunities. So reframing the challenge to me is just an opportunity to overcome some kind of obstacle. Yeah. And no matter what the challenge is, in most cases, it's not going to be persistent. So it's just temporary. So recognizing whatever this challenge is that's evoking this negative emotion, first of all, it's an opportunity. Yep. So see it as that. And with every opportunity is an opportunity for growth. And then when you grow through that, you have an opportunity to give and share and help somebody else out with that. And then no matter what it is, whatever that emotion is that it's just temporary. Yeah. So once we can lean into it and tackle it, we're going to move beyond that and get back to hopefully a positive state of mind.
I love that. Beautiful. I think we're wrapping up, so I'd love to just give you the floor to tell guests where to find you and your spots.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Ty, thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Jason Ganahl, GQue BBQ. We've got 6 locations, Denver, Colorado, up and down the Front Range. So if you live in Colorado, hit me up. I'd love to meet you in there. I'll treat you to a free pulled pork sandwich. And thank you for having me on.
Of course. Cool. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What?